There we go. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
This is all about me. I am 7 years old. My favorite animal is a dog. My favorite color is red. My favorite animal is a cheeseburger. This is what I look like. That's not what you look like. Yeah, I was trying. This is my family. That's my older sister. It's Kinsey, Ricky, me, my mom, my dad, and that's my dog. My favorite place to go is the pool. When I grow up, I want to be an engineer. My favorite thing to do is play football. If I had one wish, I'd wish for a brother.
Oh.
Same with me.
This is a kids triathlon medal. This is my football trophy. This is my stuffed animal Enderman. This is my book, Harry the Dirty Dog. Okay, I'll take some questions now. This one's
Mr. Jensen, this question is for you. What makes Jacob so special?
Well, he was kind of special the day he was born. Because he was born in June in Arizona. And it doesn't rain in June in Arizona. But on that morning, right after he was born, it rained for about an hour and a half, which hadn't happened in a long, long time.
Wow.
If you've ever seen the rain in the desert, when it rains that much, the water runs everywhere. There's water running down the street and through the gullies. And
They probably don't have drainage, do they?
Not much. Not for that much rain. But it rained on the day Jacob was born in Tucson. And what else makes him special? He's a good dancer. Have you ever seen him dance?
No.
I've got a couple of videos of him dancing. We call it Crazy Dance Saturday. And he dances kind of crazy. And he's a real good kid.
Dance.
Oh,
No.
we won't.
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
Boys and girls.
Ask another one a question.
Bennett.
What do you like doing after school?
Eating.
Playing football in my backyard in the summertime. What is your favorite thing to do with your dad? Play golf and play football with him. Grayson.
What is your favorite? How big is the biggest steamboat you've ever rode? How big is the biggest boat you've ever rode?
Probably my grandparents' boat.
Nope, you've been on the bigger one. Mississippi River.
Oh yeah, that boat.
He's been on the steamboat in the Mississippi River. Have you ever been to the River Museum in Dubuque? That big steamboat they have outside of the museum. If you've ever been there, you've been on that boat too. Yep.
Zach.
What did your dad work for and what's his name?
My dad works for Rockwell, and my dad's name is Derek. That's my name.
Mr. Jensen, do you want to tell us about what you do at Rockwell?
Sure, and I'll use this picture right here. So, that's a picture of Jacob sitting in one of our labs. He's pointing at it's a pretend mock-up of a flight deck on an airplane. That airplane is called the Bombardier 5000, 6000 Global Express. It's a plane built in Montreal, Canada. It flies over 5,000 miles without refueling, and we build all of the things that the pilots use in that airplane. And I took Jacob into work one day, and he got to sit down and mess with. It's like having a computer screen, only having 4 computers all linked together and all working the same. So you know how you use your finger on the touchpad to move the mouse around? He was doing the same thing with his hand down here and watching the mouse jump from that screen to that screen to that screen.
Very cool.
Really. What's your favorite pool to go to? Elmcrest. Mason.
Who's your favorite teacher?
Every single one I've had.
Oh,
Good
goody.
answer. Good answer.
Safe.
Do you wanna-
What's your favorite football team?
I have a lot of favorite football teams.
In NFL. Or college.
Probably my favorite one in NFL is Broncos. Any of them? Grayson.
Those pumpkin fries, I tried them from my pumpkin.
Ariana.
What's your favorite shoes of sports?
Pretty much football shoes. Mason.
What's your favorite thing to do with your sisters?
Probably play Minecraft
That's
with
what I
them on
was
the
gonna
Xbox.
say.
Jacob?
What's your favorite subject
And math. This one's in.
I have a question, and I think maybe we could have your dad or you read your favorite book, and then whatever time we have left, should we take some questions? Does that work for you?
You do that?
So my question to you is, what has been your favorite vacation?
My favorite vacation was to probably Florida. It took us like 16 hours.
What'd you do down there that was fun?
We went to a beach. And
Great.
We surfed.
Rode jet skis, chased dolphins.
I want to do
Bennett.
What do you like doing? Like, what's your favorite place besides Florida on vacation?
New Mexico.
Cool. Why New Mexico?
Because I went there for Christmas.
Tell them where that picture's from. Where you're dressed in the crazy wig, yep.
That's from. That was from Santa Fe's Children's Museum. Like, there was a place where you could dress up in silly stuff and you could like
Tell them
pick
about
up-
the big bubble maker.
Oh yeah, that could make huge bubbles.
You stood in the middle of it, you stood on it, and you stepped inside of a big ring. You know how you blow bubbles? Only instead of it being this big, it was this big around. You step in it and you lift it up with a rope, and it would put a big, huge bubble over top of your entire body.
How
So you'd
could
be
you breathe?
inside the bubble. Well, it would pop. As soon as you touched it, it would pop. It was a soap bubble, but it was humongous.
Whoa.
Should we read your book?
What's your favorite
Let's read your book. All right.
And then you can take some questions after that, Jacob. I'm sure we'll have time.
All right. You
Jacob?
want me to read it, or you want to read it?
I have to make an announcement. This is one of my all-time favorite books. And that book, for me, goes back a long, long, long time. So it's one of my very favorite books, too.
This book, 1956. That's before anybody in this room was born.
Even you?
Even us old people. Yeah. Yes, this book was written a long, long time ago. Do you want to read it? I'll hold it up and you read it, okay? Okay. Hey, read it so they can see, okay?
Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything except getting a bath. So one day when he heard the water running, he took the scrubbing brush and buried it in the backyard, then ran away from home. He played where they were fixing the street and got very dirty. He played at the railroad and got even dirtier. He played tag with the other dogs and became dirtier still. He slid down a coal chute and got the dirtiest of all. In fact, he changed from a white dog with black spots to a black dog with white spots. All through, there were many other things to do. Harry began to wonder if his family thought that he had really run away. He felt tired and hungry too, so without stopping on the way, he ran back home. When Harry got to his house, he crawled through the fence and sat looking at the back door. One of the family looked out and said, "There's a strange dog in our backyard. By the way, has anyone seen Harry?" When Harry heard this, he tried very hard to show them he was Harry. He started to do all his old clever tricks. He flip-flopped and he flop-flipped. He rolled over and played dead. He danced and he sang. He did these tricks over and over again, but everyone shook his head and said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Harry." Harry gave up and walked slowly toward the gate, but suddenly he stopped. He ran to the corner of the garden and started to dig ferociously. Soon he jumped away from the hole, barking short, happy barks. He found the scrubbing brush and carried it in his mouth. He ran to the house. Up the stairs he dashed with the family following close behind. He jumped into the bathtub and sat begging with the scrubbing brush in his mouth, a trick he certainly has never done before. "This little doggy wants a bath," cried the little girl. And her father said, "Why don't you and your brother give him one?" Harry's bath was the soapiest one of all he ever had. It worked like magic. As soon as the children started to scrub, they began shouting, "Mommy, Daddy, look, look, come quick. It's Harry, it's Harry, it's Harry," they cried. Harry wagged his tail and was very, very happy. His family combed and brushed him lovingly, and he became once again a white dog with black spots. It was wonderful to be home. After dinner, Harry fell asleep in his favorite place, happily dreaming of how much fun it had been getting dirty. He slept so soundly, he didn't even feel the scrubbing brush he'd hidden under his pillow.
Great story. How about a couple more questions for Jacob or Mr. Jensen?
Lily,
What's your favorite kind of dog?
a Yorkie,
Why?
because they're really cute and they lick your faces a lot.
My mom is gonna play. She does not.
Lauren,
What do you like to do when you play with your sisters outside?
we usually like to play football.
What else do you play with? driveway.
We play volleyball,
I've seen you play that.
And what else? do you do?
basketball.
And where do you go? What are those things called that you pedal?
We ride bikes around our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Fun.
Grayson.
When you read that book, you had great expression.
You did. Mr. Jensen, do you have anything else you'd like to tell us about Jacob that we don't already know?
Well, Jacob is 7 when he had just turned 5. He water skied by himself behind a boat. before he was a kindergartner. I grew up on a lake with a boat and brothers, and we skied since I was little. But I knew of no one that had ever skied by 5. So he currently has the record for the youngest water skier by himself behind a boat on our lake in South Dakota.
That deserves a silent cheer.
He's in a record book?
Well, he's in
The family
the
record
family
book.
record book. He's the youngest water skier of all of us.
Amazing.
That
But when he
wasn't-
fell over, he realized he was in the middle of the lake.
Yeah.
So he kind
Yeah,
of
at least
hollered,
I
and his
was
cousin jumped out of the boat and swam over to him, so he wasn't all alone.
Yeah, at least I had a life jacket on.
Yes, you did have
That's
a life.
true. Jacob, when you do your triathlons, is there a part that is extremely hard or
Usually the hardest part is swimming.
Yeah, I would probably say that.
Well, like once you fall off a bike, if you were in a swimming pool, I never fall off my bike.
do you want to tell them what a triathlon is? Because I don't know if they all know.
A triathlon is like a thing where you have to swim, bike, and run in the order of that. And so you had to swim around a whole pool, and you have to get out, run out into like a space where you get your bike. You take off your swim cap, your goggles, you put on your shoes, you dry off your feet, and you put on your helmet and you get on your bike and you go out of that place and you start biking. And then you come back in, you take off all your biking stuff, and then you go around and start running. And then you cross the finish line. And then
Hopefully.
you get one of these medals, and you get some food to eat, a water. Oh, and here's a tip. Don't eat much food before a triathlon. You might puke at the end.
So how much swimming, biking, and running is there?
I'm
You-
not sure.
You did a 100-yard swim, a 3-mile bike, and a 500-yard run
Wow.
for this age group. His older sisters did longer than that. I think the teenagers were doing 500 yards in the pool, 5 miles on the bike, 2-mile run.
Wow. Well, let's take 2 more questions before Mr. Jensen has to go today.
Worked out yours.
Evan.
What's your favorite sport?
No, we've already answered this. Football. It's football.
You might have a
It's
second.
football.
What's your second?
Nope, what's up?
Probably basketball.
What's your third favorite?
Baseball. Baseball.
What's your fourth favorite?
Oh.
Golf.
Okay, last question. Make it a good one.
Candy.
What's your favorite position in football? And basketball.
Probably my 2 favorite positions, actually 3 favorite positions in football are probably quarterback, running back, and wide receiver.
All right.
My favorite position in basketball is probably a point guard.
Awesome. Well, can we sign and say thank you to Mr. Jensen for being here?
You're welcome.